Today we have to cover Avantis. I have been talking about the pullback that we've been having in Avantis for a long time, and we just pulled back 6.7% today. Yesterday, the day before that, the day before that, I've been saying that Avantis is going to come all the way down to about 40 cents. And as you can see, Avantis is coming down to 40 cents. It's currently sitting at 45 cents. Anyways, I'm going to talk about what's about to happen here. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And I'll also give my personal opinion on what I think about the future here of Avantis. Anyways, let's get started with this. So as you guys can see here, Avantis, yes, is down pretty much 7% in the last 24 hours, 16% in the last 7 days, 23% in the last 14, and 9% inside of the last week. So that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, but everything is down, so it's not that bad. Not everything like Zcash and stuff. But anyways, yes, Avantis is not doing as well right now. The 24-hour trading volume is at 62 million. The market cap is at 117 million. And as you can see here, we are at 104,000 holders. And 2 weeks ago, we had about, how much did we have there? We had about 98,000 holders 2 weeks ago. So Avantis is still growing and it's still getting more holders every day. But people are upset with how the price has been dumping and dumping and dumping, even though we have a Robinhood listing. So that's really making people mad. Now, I just kind of want to show some stuff. We had a crazy week and we will continue to have crazy weeks ahead. There's going to be a lot of crazy weeks because of this government shutdown. Now that it's coming back to life, we are going to see a lot of crazy things, a lot of crazy ups and downs. You just have to understand that. You just have to accept it. And if you don't like it, you might as well get out in the market right now because it's going to be crazy, or just don't look at your phone. Don't look at anything, but it's going to be crazy, right? The New York, the NY Fed manufacturing and all this other stuff, PMI, Fed minutes, and NVIDIA earnings. That's going to be on Wednesday. Fed minutes on Wednesday, PMI flash Tuesday, on Monday, the manufacturing thing, NVIDIA earnings, yeah. Jobs report Thursday, the Philly Fed, and home sales Thursday, services PMI, manufacturing PMI Friday, Michigan sentiment, inflation expectations on Friday, 14th of Fed, speakers, the 14th, the Fed is going to have the speakers all week. So this is crazy. Like this is a lot of stuff. 14 Fed speakers, not the 14th, but this is a lot of stuff, guys. This is a lot of stuff. It's going to affect equities, indices, cryptos. It's going to affect everything. All right. So it's going to be very volatile. Now, Avantis is encouraging you to trade on their platform because, obviously you can trade equities. You can trade stocks on Avantis. You can trade a bunch of stuff all over, right? So they're encouraging people to trade. Now, maybe this will help with their volume. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, let's talk about how a lot of people are very upset. So this Foxy person is very upset. I don't know if it's he or she. We're going to say she. But she is upset at Avantis saying it's robbery. And just, saying all that stuff about Avantis. And I'm not going to say whether or not it is or not. But, she's definitely pissed. She's pissed. So yeah, I just kind of want to show that, guys, because as you guys know, like I've been giving you guys signals every day. Like I've been saying, hey, this is a bearish pattern. Like I've been telling people, like, look, we're in a descending triangle, right? It's a bearish pattern. Not only are we in a descending triangle, but we have a bullish pattern within that. We have a falling wedge within it. So we have a light at the end of the tunnel. But first we have to go through the bearish movements. So what happened? Our descending triangle, we just now broke down from our descending triangle. We broke out of it to the downside like we should, but we're still in a falling wedge. We're still in a falling wedge. And let me take this off right here for the descending triangle. Boom. You take that off. Now it's a falling wedge. So that's just what you have to look at and realize, this is, and you can say, oh, maybe it's not a falling wedge. Maybe it's a descending channel. Well, guess what happens at the end of descending channels? Sometimes it does break down to the downside. Let me not say that. Sometimes it breaks down to the upside, but still, I'm going to look at this as a falling wedge because I think That's how it really looks, because remember when we got listed onto Robinhood, that was the artificial pump. We were supposed to continue to go through a falling wedge. It kind of became a descending triangle once Robinhood listed it. And that is why we had that random pump right there. That was the day Robinhood listed it. That's why I'm saying this is a descending triangle. Do not be fooled. It might look like a descending channel, but no, this is a falling wedge. I mean, not a descending triangle. This is a falling wedge. But remember, we also had the descending triangle within the falling wedge. So anyways, we should see this pull back some more. I've been mentioning it the whole time. 40 cents is coming soon. There is still a chance that we break this support, even though this is a falling wedge, and falling wedges are bullish. You also have to remember we just came out of a descending triangle, which is bearish. So that's why I've also been saying, if we break 40 cents, we're looking for 28 cents. If we break 40 cents, we're looking for 28 cents. And I would not put nothing behind AVANTIS. So I think that it might do that. And look, watch my video from yesterday. I said something very, very important yesterday. I said this. I said, if Bitcoin does not reach 85K by the time AVANTIS reaches 40 cents, AVANTIS is good, right? If Bitcoin doesn't reach that by the time it reaches 40 cents, is good, because then when Bitcoin finally reaches 85K and then bounces off 85K, AVANTIS will be hitting 40 cents and bouncing off 40 cents going up. But if Bitcoin just crashes right now to 85K as we are touching 40 cents, you might see AVANTIS crash from 40 cents all the way down to 28 cents. Let's say we hit 40. Let's say we hit 40 cents by like today or tomorrow, which we're probably gonna do. Like let's go back here. Like let's be honest. We might hit 40 cents by today or tomorrow, right? And when that happens, we are now at a critical support. But this critical support at 40 cents could be broken all the way down to 28 cents if Bitcoin goes ahead and breaks that 94K. Well, it already broke 94K and it goes down to 85K. So if Bitcoin goes down to 85K as AVANTIS is at 40 cents, where do you think AVANTIS goes after that? Right? And you kind of have to use some logic here. You have to step back and look at this. Like if it goes down to 85K, we're just going to say 10%, right? That's about a 10% drop, give or take. Well, let's 84K. Let's not do that. That's about a 9% drop, okay? So if we're looking at a 9% drop in Bitcoin, we know that altcoins go down twice as much as Bitcoin. So wouldn't it make sense that if we hit 40 cents right before Bitcoin crashes, wouldn't that make sense that we would also go down in AVANTIS but twice as much as Bitcoin? Well, what is that? Well, that's a 30% drop. If it's twice as much, it'd be like 20%. But remember, it could be 3 times as much for something like a low cap, like AVANTIS. So 28 cents is definitely possible. I would say be careful. Me personally, I'm not buying any highs. I don't buy anything that seems high. I don't buy anything that has recently pumped. But this thing has definitely not recently pumped. But still, I'm not looking at buying at 40 cents. I'm looking at 28 cents. So just to kind of, give you some perspective there, because it looks like we're going to hit 40 cents before Bitcoin starts to really crash. Now, if Bitcoin starts to crash now, that could be our drop to 40 cents, but it might go a little lower. So we'll see. But yeah, Bitcoin is about to crash, guys. So it's going to bring AVANTIS down with it. You can look, like I can literally look at this and tell you right now that this does not look pretty. This does not look pretty. This is going to be a nasty drop if it does drop, right? If it does drop, it'll be a nasty drop. But this right here is a little bit of a descending channel. So we'll see what happens. But, sometimes with these descending channels, it'll trickle down like this and then it'll just crash at the bottom. And then that might be what constitutes the 85K drop. So we'll look at that. And just to kind of show you guys, look at the percent R trend exhaustion on the hourly chart. Look at how the long-term trend stays oversold to the downside. And the short-term trend just goes crazy. when the long-term trend stays down here too long on the percent R trend exhaustion, the price continues to come down. Even though you see the short-term trend keeps going crazy, the long-term trend is staying flat all the way at the bottom, which is driving the price down ultimately. So that is what we got to pay attention to. And, a drop in Bitcoin isn't too far-fetched. I've been saying this since like June, actually since before June. Look, 32% drop followed by a bull flag, 32% drop followed by a falling wedge, 32% drop that we're now experiencing that's going to bring us to 85K Bitcoin was followed by this bullish or this bearish expanding triangle, which is this right here, and then also a falling wedge, which is this right here. And you can see bearish expanding triangle in the overall pattern right here, boom, boom, and then you can see the falling wedge, boom, boom. And we broke out of the falling wedge, which should have been bullish, but we broke out of it because we have to finish this 32% drop. And then when you come over here to the weekly chart, this is what wraps it all up. This is what puts the little bow tie on the top of the chart like a little present. This brings it all together. The percent R trend exhaustion on the weekly chart. What happens when you see that? Well, it drops all the way down here, right? It comes all the way down here, bounces off of this, and then it recovers. The short-term trend. This white line is the short-term trend. This is the short-term trend coming all the way down here. Boom, bounce off there. This is the long-term trend. Boom, right there. And I've been saying this for the longest. This is a pattern that I've noticed and that I've been trying to tell people about. And yeah, some people have been listening, so shout out to you guys. But anyways, this pattern could be broken if it continues downwards. Now look, this is the weekly chart. So what do we have to pay attention to on the weekly chart? Well, currently this is the 17th of November. So this is the start of the new week. So this is the start of the new weekly chart. And what I mean by the weekly chart for all the beginners out there, when you see these candlesticks, each candlestick is a 1 week time interval. It's a 1 week time interval. If you come to the daily chart, each candlestick is a 1 day time interval. It's a 1 day time interval on the daily chart. And then for the weekly chart, we're looking at 1 week time intervals. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because if by the 24th of November, which is next week, 7 days from now, the 24th of November, if by the 24th of November, this right here closes under here, oh, we're screwed. We're screwed. The top is in for crypto. We are screwed. We do not want to see this close below this next week, right? This is probably going to end up bouncing, and I'll tell you why. Because when we finally drop to 85K, Bitcoin has been itching to take off. Bitcoin has been crashing and crashing and crashing, and it just keeps going down, but it's not pumping back up. We usually have relief rallies. That's what we'll see. And then that would be a 30% drop. So with a 30% drop, typically after those, we'll do good. Well, 32%, because remember, all of them are 32% back here. So we should be good. We should be good. Worst comes to worst, we go down to 75K and then bounce, but we'll see. According to everything that I've been looking at, I don't think it's going to happen that way. So remember everything I said about AVANTIS, and remember everything I said about Bitcoin. Prepare for 40 cents, and then eventually prepare for 28 cents. I'm going to be honest with you. It might not fully reach 28, right? It might come down here. It might stop at like 32, 34. I mean, it could stop at anywhere, right? But it should go to 40 cents and possibly below. Okay. Anyways, this person said something that really stuck with me. He says, this is actually very interesting. Robinhood listed AVANTIS. Usually they only list really big and high profile stuff. Yeah, they bother to list the top perp decks on base. Now, one thing I will say about this is they have listed other coins that are like, why would you list that? Like, they listed like Mudang, which is like a pumped out fun coin of a little hippo out here in Thailand. They listed other coins that was like, why would you list that? So I wouldn't put it too far past them, but I do think that AVANTIS does have some potential, and it is the largest perp dex on base, and base chain is still a small chain. So it's very easy for Avantis to lose that money, right? It's very easy for them to lose that market share. Actually, the price is kind of dumping right now in crypto. Yeah, in Bitcoin, we kind of see a little bit of a dump right now. So we'll see if this continues to crash. And if it does, I'll update you guys. So anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Go ahead and become a member of the channel, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back with another video.